I would like us to explore African hair as a revolutionary experience and how it politically puts us in a place where we are in opposition to Western imperialist colonizers' ideals of beauty. And not only African hair, but being an African in general, because it all ties back in to us as a people, not just the thing that we put on the thing that grows out of our scalp, but who we are as an African people, because the hair is connected to a culture, an aesthetic, an identity, a way of being, a way of feeling of masses of African people who have been disenfranchised and been colonized. And so when we start talking about our hair as a natural hair revolution, what we really are saying that as African people, we are revolutionizing some shit.
Yeah. Ice Prince.
Relaxing my hair in 1996. Before I did that, I really had to ask myself some questions. Why was I still doing that? I had relaxed or chemically altered my hair for 7 years, and in that time my hair was never healthy. It was breaking. I was bald for a couple years. I really had to dig back and think, why the hell did I do this to myself? And when I think about that, I remember me wearing sheets on my head so that I can look like I had long straight hair, and I wanted to not be white, but I didn't want to have nappy short hair. I didn't want to be not like everybody else, and that's the very essence of what colonialism and being essentially a slave means. You lose your identity, whether you do it to yourselves or that the society itself pressures you to do it. But I understood that that step that I was taking meant that I was no longer going to accept that this is what people wanted me to look like. And in doing that, that was a revolutionary act. And when we think about African hair in history, we can think about it in eras of revolution. There was a fear in the 60s and 70s that when you see Africans who don't live next to each other, but they start to adopt a similar aesthetic, and you know that once you adopt that aesthetic, you probably unified behind the reason for that aesthetic, and at that time it was Black power. Social structure is going to shake, and it's going to say that, this is unacceptable. I know why you're doing this, and you're trying to gain some self-confidence and unite with other Black people, and that aesthetic means that you're all a part of one people, and you're no longer seeing yourself as different because you are wearing the same so-called style that everybody else is. That's a powerful statement that happened here, that happened everywhere that we are, and what you saw was the power structure trying to push back and tell us that this is not what I need you to do. And now you have this situation where this imposed freedom, because it really wasn't free, you were still underneath some sort of colonial law, and you had to appease the white folk. So in order to be in their homes, in order to be in their businesses, in order to essentially work for them, you had to look very prim and proper, and to them prim and proper meant fair-skinned or straight hair or straight angular features just like theirs. That's what they valued, and in time it soaked into our system. Our ethnic identities were ripped from us, and what was put in its place was a very docile, in some cases docile creature, whose very existence was to please the oppressor and not be seen as a threat. In doing so, we've become invisible as a people. Natural hair now, this natural hair revolution, people are calling it a natural hair revolution, is saying that we don't want to be invisible anymore. And matter of fact, I don't care if you see me or not, but I want my other Africans to see how beautiful I can be with this nappy hair, with this kinky hair, with this extremely curly hair or loosely curly hair, but just textured hair. We just want us to see that there's beauty in this, because when you are a colonized person, your identity, your aesthetic is always constantly being threatened. I recently saw something about a young man who works as a flight attendant and was told that he had to cover his hair and had to wear a wig. Was it a young man or a young woman? Either way, the flight attendant had to cover their hair because the company didn't appreciate the fact that his hair, he was wearing a natural African hairstyle. When you say things like, I can't wear my hair because at work they're not gonna like it, or I'm not gonna be able to get a job. By saying that, you are admitting that you are a colonized person. When you can't be who you are naturally as a human being, because it's gonna prevent you from economically developing, it's gonna prevent you from getting a man. You won't be able to ride a horse. You won't be able to tie your shoes or cook correctly. It's gonna prevent you from doing a whole bunch of other things that is tied to your ability to retain your own aesthetic. We have people who alter their faces to look straighter. We even have white people who alter their faces to look straighter. And then we have black people who alter their faces to look like white people who have altered their faces. And so you have skin bleaching and straightening of the hair and all of these things that would signify that our tie-in to being a colonized people. I have friends who are the most militant sounding people that I have ever known, but it's like, girl, I can't go natural right now. And I'm like, why not? And it's still holding on to the idea that beauty is, as an African, is not beauty at all. And when we take that step, I'm not saying it's for everybody. I'm not telling you that you have to. I'm not telling that if you don't, that you some sort of sellout, whitewash, effer, you know what I'm saying? But I am saying that once you do it, once you realize how powerful taking back your identity is, how powerful loving yourself is, you don't never go back. Doesn't matter if straight hair is easier. The fact is that your hair ain't straight naturally, for the most part. I mean, there are Africans who need loosely textured hair, what have you, but for the most part, African hair in its natural state is not the easiest to take care of, but it's ours. So think about that, and I will see you next time. Peace.